This is my client Ellen, and today is her wedding day. Ellen requested angel makeup, which is one of my specialties, so I was really excited. First, I'm prepping her skin with some moisturizer, and I'm putting this on first so it can soak in while I'm working on her brows and her eyes. She had amazing eyebrows. I barely needed to do anything. I just put a little bit of the color medium brown from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I just pressed in a little bit of that powder. I'm prepping her eyelids with the color Almond from Too Faced. This is the Born This Way concealer, and I'm putting that all the way from her lash line to up underneath her eyebrows. This is going to make sure that her eyeshadow stays on all day, and it's also really good to even out the top of the eye. I would always set this with some translucent powder. Here I'm using the Laura Mercier, and I am just going over top, fluffing a little bit on, just to make sure that there's no creasing. This is the larger Pillow Talk palette, and I'm using 2 of the lighter shades, and I am just putting that right into her crease. I'm taking a small fluffy brush, and I'm just going back and forth, kind of like a window washer. For the outer edges, I'm just building those out with a little bit of one of the darker colors in the palette. Of course, I have to put Liquid Kitten right on the center of her eye, about 1/3 of the way over. I'm just putting that on the back of my hand and just building that up really slowly. This is one of the key products I use when I'm doing angel makeup. I want a little pop on the lashes, so I'm using the Ardell Demi Wispies. While Ellen's eyelashes are drying, I'm going to mix up my foundation. So I'm taking NC13 and NC30 from MAC Studio Fix. Then I'm going to mix up her concealer. This is the color Vanilla, and then I'm using the color Swan. She has a really, really nice spray tan, so I am just mixing these 2 colors together, and it's going to make a really nice base. And of course, you always have to have waterproof mascara. I'm taking my foundation mixture and just putting that all around her face. I'm going to build her coverage, so I'm taking my 101 brush from BK Beauty, and I am just pushing that into her face. And then if I feel like I need a little bit more, I'll just dot some on with the 71 brush from Sephora. For angel makeup, it is usually a full coverage look. I always make sure that I bend right over and look up underneath the chin, go down the neck just a little bit, kind of feathering it down. Now I'm taking my concealer mixture. I'm putting a little bit down her nose and some right up underneath her eyes. I do have a specific method for concealer. I take my 71 brush and I take all of the concealer and spread it around. Then I take my foundation brush, so the 101 from BK Beauty, and I go right back over top of that concealer and push it back into the skin. This is going to help make it look a lot more natural. Then on a small fluffy brush, I'm taking Sugar Cookie from Huda Beauty, and I am pressing that right underneath her eyes. I'm doing that before I move to the other side. It's important to choose a concealer that is not too light for your skin tone. A lot of people will see dark circles and they'll just immediately go to the lightest shade, but having something with a little bit of a warmer undertone, even an orange, will really help cancel out any darkness. If you put a really light color over dark circles, it's going to end up almost looking gray, which is not the look we're going for. There's nothing worse than doing your makeup and someone asking you if you're sick. So using anything that's a pinky undertone or really pale is going to give you more of a sickly look. Once I'm done setting the under eyes, I start pressing that in around the nose, basically the T-zone, and I'm just pressing that on. So it gives a really nice blurring effect and will also keep the makeup on for the whole day and night. This is the color Woodwinked, and I'm taking that on a small detail brush and just putting that really gently up underneath her eyes. I do this every single time I do angel makeup. There's something about this color. I'm going to do a really soft contour. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer in medium, and it's very buildable. So I'm just taking a little bit at a time and putting that up towards the top of her ear, but I'm not building up too much. We don't want anything in this look to really stand out. Basically, we want it to be all soft and really elegant. I always take a little bit of bronzer and tap it around the nose. I added some Hourglass Luminous Blush to her cheekbones, apple of her cheek, and up towards the temple. Now is where she really starts to look angelic. I'm taking the color Cookie from Benefit, and I am just putting this on all the high points of her face. You can't be an angel without a good amount of highlighter. So make sure that you're brushing some over the nose, underneath the brow bone, tear duct, just everywhere. I'm putting some Extra Dimension Skin Finish right on the apple of her cheek. I'm taking the color Whirl, and I am just lining her lips. Then she brought her own lip color, which is Mare. So I put a tiny bit of that on and then just added a little bit of gloss. I think this makeup would stay on without the setting spray, but I always set with the Skindinavia Bridal Spray for just a little extra security. Her reaction, it literally made my day. I was smiling all day. She felt so beautiful. She looked in the mirror and she said, "This is how I've always wanted to look." And oh my God, I started tearing up. I just was so happy that she felt so good. Look down again.
Do you always get lashes?
Yes. Back up. And back up.